Hodges looking deep again. Washington's open. Washington has it. One man to beat. Washington shoves one down. Touchdown. Oh, what a play. 79 yards. The Duck, Hodges, for 6.
I usually start this podcast with the words, "What's crackin', Yinzer Nation?" But today I gotta say, what's quackin'? And you know the damn reason why. Our guest today is none other than Steelers legendary quarterback, yeah, I said it, former quarterback, Duck Hodges. Joins us on the Yinzer Crazy Show in just about a few minutes here. I don't want to waste much time. My name is Mike Nicastro. You can follow me on Twitter at MikedUpSports1, or of course, my primary tweeting source, which is at Yinzer Crazy Show. You're tuned into the show. We're sponsored by Steel City Wheelhouse. Make sure you check them out. And of course, supported by the website YinzerCrazy.com. I want to tell you about all the great things we got going on. Of course, we got Yinzer Hour. This past week, we talked to Trey Essex. Every Thursday night, we're live streaming on your Twitter with great Steelers guests. We have articles, feature stories, Pens games recaps, Pirate season previews, all kinds of great stuff popping up daily on YinzerCrazy.com, so make sure you check that out. And of course, we're the premier Pittsburgh podcast. Make no bones about it. We certainly appreciate having the ability to have such awesome guests grace our show, and we have yet another one today. You're going to want to hear from the dude because he provided us with some great insight about his time working with Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph. Of course, some of his favorite memories as a Pittsburgh Steelers signal caller, as you just heard on the play-by-play from his touchdown pass to James Washington against the Bengals in 2019, and much, much more from the Duck, who I can say has supplanted the large rubber ducky in Point Park as the coolest and most significant duck ever in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm sure that's debatable. I think I'll have some people coming at me on Twitter for that one, but for me, it's Duck Hodges over the Point Rubber Ducky. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the man himself. I cannot wait for you to hear from him. And then after that, Jordan and I will catch up on a few Yinzer-related items. But without further ado, let's let a duck call take you into it.
This is duck calling while you're out hunting for ducks.
Okay.
Thanks for checking into the Yinzer Crazy Show. We are, of course, sponsored by Steel City Wheelhouse and supported by YinzerCrazy.com. The Steel City went from Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh back in 2019, and we got the man who was responsible for it on the line. Joining us from Arkansas today is Devlin Duck Hodges. Dude, thanks so much for joining us first and foremost. How's it going?
Man, what's up? What's up? It's going good. We just got done with a big snowstorm here. It made me feel like I was back up in Pittsburgh. So it's finally sunny and 65, and it's kind of back to normal here. But life is good. It's kind of the dead period right this second. So just kind of hanging out, working out, and just relaxing.
I was gonna say thanks for taking a few minutes away from the duck hunting scene to join us, but it's over, right? I mean, duck hunting season. I was doing some research. It ended like a month ago.
Yeah, it ends. It always ends the last day in January. So it's been, I guess, about a month. About a month it's been over with. So it's there's been a lot of working out, hanging out. Kind of getting ready for the next hunting season, which will be turkey season, and still training and getting ready to go to LA.
Well, I'm sure you had a good duck season. And I want to, of course, talk about the great season you had with the Steelers in 2019, man. You are a legend in Black and Gold Nation. I don't know if you're aware of it yet. You're probably too humble to accept it still. But, dude, let's start from the beginning, right? You're coming out of Samford, where you, of course, were excellent. You won the FCS equivalent to the Heisman Trophy, the Walter Payton Award. You get signed as an undrafted rookie with the Steelers. What's going through your mind right away when that happens?
I told myself when I was in college, like, every day, I told myself, look, all I want is a chance. All I want is an opportunity. And obviously I wanted to be drafted or, and all that cool stuff. But, like, at the end of the day, I remembered what I told myself is, hey, I want a chance. And, when the Steelers called me, hours after the draft was over, and was like, hey, we're not going to sign you to a free agent deal, but we want you to come in for this trial, this rookie mini camp. It's a trial. And I said, all right, that's cool. All right, let's go do it. And man, I remember getting there and doing my thing, and any opportunity, any chance I got, I made it count.
Well, you definitely made the most of those opportunities, my man, and things had to align a little bit for you to obviously see the field. It started with Josh Dobbs getting traded early on. Big Ben obviously goes down with that injury. And then, dude, I'm going to rewind because I remember this moment really, really damn well. I'm sitting about 30 rows up from the end zone. Mason Rudolph goes down after that nasty Earl Thomas hit. And I tell you what, enter 2009 World Junior Duck Calling Champion Devlin Hodges, man. What do you remember from that moment, that game against the Ravens, where you almost brought the team back to win in overtime?
I remember as soon as I got on the field, like, the first thing I looked at, like, Juju and James Washington, and I think Deontay was out there, and I just looked at them. I said, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know I'm about to sling it around. Huh. And, man, I mean, I honestly, I was, not necessarily nervous, but, obviously I was like, just like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Like, shit, I'm in the game. And then I think it was the third or fourth play. I checked the protection and like threw a comeback to Deontay for a first down. And then like after that play, like that's when I completely just zoned in and settled in and said, shit, I was like, let's go. Like, I can do this. And, then just finished off the game, and wish we could have had a couple plays back, because we definitely should have. We should have walked out of that stadium with a win. But it was obviously a great first experience. Wasn't my first start, but it was my first time seeing the field, and I'll never forget it.
Duck, you seemingly, don't lack confidence, man. I love that you just said, I got in the game and I told the boys, let's sling it. And of course, you did a lot of that. Where did that confidence come from? Is it just something from playing ball for so many years? You know what you have inside of you? Is it something a family member you kind of took from? Where did you get that kind of sense of confidence and just going out there with that attitude? Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go balls to the wall here and just see what happens.
I think a lot of it is just like my whole life. I was always told, you're too short, you're not good enough, you're going to a small school for a reason, and all this. And shit never bothered me. I mean, I knew what I was capable of doing. I knew that I could throw a football, and I feel like I got people tell me I got a little, like, I guess, swag or moxie about myself, and it's just who I am. My dad was my little league coach growing up. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or what, but I've just always, I feel like anytime I step into a room, like, people look at me like, this guy's got confidence in anything he does, and I've always been the guy that, like, no matter what it is I'm doing, like, I want to be the best at it. And that's why I picked up the whole duck calling thing when I started duck hunting. Like, oh, they got duck calling contests. Well, let me do them. So it's just something I guess I've just always kind of had and always try to bring to the table is this confidence. I mean, especially at the quarterback position, you gotta have guys that are gonna look at you and like, this guy believes in himself, so I'm gonna believe in him.
We're chatting with former Steelers signal caller Duck Hodges here on the Yinzer Crazy Show. Dude, I mentioned that Baltimore game. Let's flash forward a week. The next Sunday night, you're out in California at the Chargers. You're wearing the T-shirt, bro. We talk about swag. I'm the boss of California, and what a relevant T-shirt for you to still wear. You come out and you beat future Hall of Famer Phillip Rivers for your first career victory in that game. Take me back to that night, man. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I don't know where to begin. Man, I'll never forget how, like, obviously there's a lot of hype around the game and all this, and a lot of hype around me. But, like, I'll never forget, like, when we took the field, like, how much it felt like if we had a home stadium in California, like, that's what it felt like. I mean, there were Steeler fans everywhere. I mean, people had all their duck stuff going crazy. And, I had so much jitters and just, like, I was so excited. Like, I think the first play, like, I threw a go ball, and it might have been the worst pass I threw all season because I don't know why, but it was it was just bad. I underthrew Juju, and I think I made up something and told him, dude, I was excited. I thought I was gonna like overthrow you, and defense played great, offense played great. I mean, everyone played great, and we did what it takes to win the game, and just to be able to, the first start I have, get a win, on the road in California. I mean, it was pretty surreal, awesome experience.
You still have that T-shirt, I would imagine, right, man? Like, was that custom made for you, or is that something that you already kind of, you had from a brand somewhere?
Nah. So I just usually the day before a game, we get a chance, we get 3 or 4 hours to kind of go do our own thing and kind of get out of the hotel and kind of do whatever. So I'd never been to California before, so me and my mom, my dad, and then 2 of my buddies that came and watched me, we went out to Venice Beach, I guess that's what it's called.
Sure.
And we just walking the little strip because everyone talks about Muscle Beach and the skate park and how cool it is. And me being from Alabama, I was like, shit. I was like, let's go see it. And there was this little shop in there that I just saw. I saw the T-shirt from the street. I said, dude, let me go ahead and get this T-shirt. I'm gonna wear it to the game tomorrow. And I didn't realize it would be such a hit, but I just thought it was funny.
That's crazy, man. So some probably beach T-shirt shack hooked you up, and before you know it, their sales went through the damn roof after you wore that T-shirt.
Maybe, yeah. I think I paid $10 for it.
Wow, but that's interesting. I think you cleared it up. A lot of fans were probably wondering if that was custom made, but a great story, no doubt, man. And of course, we're going to get to the fact that now you are the boss of California, but I want to go over a couple plays that really stand out in your Steeler career before I touch on that, man. The first, we're going to flash forward once more a few weeks down the line after a handful of games and Mason Rudolph re-entering the picture. You enter that Bengals game in the second half after Rudolph struggles in the first. And I want to talk about the touchdown heard around the backwoods, man. That's what I'm calling it. You know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. The 79-yard toss and catch to your dude, James Washington. You're probably going to tell me that James Washington did all the work, right?
I mean, someone had to throw it.
I love it, bro. Actually, you know what? I should have figured. You know what? It was 99% Hodges, 1% Washington. Okay.
Nah, I mean, man, it was. Hey, I won't forget. I believe that was the third play I was in the game.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the play before, I think I threw a go ball to James down the sideline for incomplete. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I wasn't going out. Obviously, I knew that the team needed some kind of spark, but I never told myself, okay, I'm gonna go out here and make this spark happen. I just told myself, all right, just go out there and beat you, and it'll take care of itself. And I mean, I made it. The line blocked good. I made a good throw. James made a heck of a catch, and then to finish off the catch on the touchdown. I mean, it was what we needed. It was definitely a good spark, and I mean, obviously, it's definitely one of my favorite plays that I remember from my time at the Steelers. So it was fun.
Big win for you guys, no question about it. And I want to talk about another win that was just huge in the city of Pittsburgh, and of course something you probably won't ever forget, man. The day was Sunday, December 1st. I'm at a big tailgate with a bunch of folks and friends. We're getting ready for the Browns coming into town. Both teams are fighting for playoff positioning. The city is covered in duck masks, man, and probably I'm the boss of California t-shirts. You come out and you win that game. I know another excellent touchdown pass to James Washington, of course, in that one where he made an incredible catch. But where does that rank overall, Duck, in your top memories as a Pittsburgh Steeler, that game?
Oh, I mean, there's no question that game definitely number one for me. I mean, it was my first home game. I'll never forget, obviously I knew that they were going to, set it up to be like this, but, I was the last one to come out of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. I don't even, remember them, calling my name because it was so loud. And then, just throughout the game, we kind of got off to a slow start, and then kind of, right there before the half, we had a good little 2-minute drive, and then the second half played well and got the win. But just after what had happened, 2 weeks before, obviously there was so much hype around this game. This was I felt like that was like the game of the year, no matter what. Like that game had to be won, and we got the job done. And I mean, just there's so much from that game that I'll remember. But I mean, it's definitely number one. And to beat the Browns, at home after what all had happened, it was for real.
We're chatting with the Duck here on the Yinzer Crazy Show. Of course, that was a huge victory for you guys and really helped cement your legacy, as I mentioned, as a legend in the Pittsburgh Nation forever, man. Hey, a couple more things before I let you go. I can't let you go without asking you about some other Steeler quarterbacks you shared that room with. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk this offseason, just about who's coming back, who isn't. I just got to ask you about Big Ben in general, man. What kind of leader and a mentor was he? And then I want to know a little bit about your relationship with Mason Rudolph too.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, Ben helped me. Ben was there. Obviously Ben was going through a tough time that whole year. I mean, he just had a season-ending injury, and was probably wanting to play, and probably had some high expectations. But Ben was around doing what he needed to do for me. But one thing I'll say is people understand, like, a lot of quarterbacks do stuff different. Like they study different, they prepare different, and quarterbacks can only do so much to help one another. But he did what he needed to do, and I mean, hey, I feel like most of the time, me and Ben were talking about hunting. Like,
sure,
I'd say 90% of the time I was talking to Ben, like we were talking about hunting and just outdoors and whatever. And heck, I still talk to Ben all the time. I don't know if I'm like a little brother to Ben or what, but I mean, we talk all the time, and he's been there for me ever since that first camp. So that's about Ben. And then Mason, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, you're in a QB room, trying to battle out for position. I mean, me and Mason don't have a bad relationship. We just have a competitive relationship. And I've talked to him once or twice since the end of the season, and it's just, hey, he's probably sitting around wondering what they're going to do at quarterback position and whatnot. So a lot of guys when it's the off season, a lot of guys they kind of give other guys their space, and you're with the guys from last year was from July till January, so like you kind of need a break from everybody.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I wish them both the best, and hopefully get to play against them one day, and we'll see what happens. Who's to say that my time in Pittsburgh isn't done?
I agree.
You never know. Pittsburgh always is big on bringing players back, and so you never know. I'm not going to sit here and say that's going to happen, but like I say, there's definitely a chance of it happening. It can't not happen. So
I hear you, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds, man. I think I got a great opportunity out there in LA, and we'll go out there and make something shake just like I did in Pittsburgh.
Dude, I was just going to ask you about that as kind of a final question here, man. You get a great chance, and I know you mentioned that was your first time in California in 2019. You're obviously going to be spending a lot more time out there because you get to play for the Rams with a really cool opportunity. Congratulations on that. You're going to get to kind of hang out with a veteran in Matt Stafford, man. Just how excited are you overall about the chance, and what are some things you're taking from your time in Pittsburgh that you learned with you out to LA?
Man, it's definitely cool, have Stafford out there, and that's two probably Hall of Fame quarterbacks that you get to kind of sit back and watch and see how they do stuff. So it's just going to be, I'm going to be able to add some more tools to the toolbox, and I'm excited. I'm interested to see what's going to happen as far as like what we do this off season. I think a lot of players are still kind of unsure about. Last year we had COVID and we didn't really have OTAs and all that, and it kind of sounds like that could be the case again. But everyone's kind of sitting back to see what's going to happen. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the taxes out there, but that's all good. But it's gonna be a fun time, cool experience, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Those taxes are a little pricey. It's a little different than like Florida, for sure, my man.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, it's been a blast talking to you. Obviously, I mentioned that you got a legacy in Pittsburgh that will be everlasting, and who knows, man? You said it yourself. The way this world, the craziness in this world, and the amount of turnover in the NFL, you never know if you could come back. I would say do you have any parting words for Pittsburgh? But I'll just say, what words do you have for the fans, man, who are wearing the Duck masks, who are supporting you? I'm sure you still got a ton of friends in the city, and planning to come back and visit, man, at times where, off season and whatnot, for sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, Pittsburgh, they took a chance on me, and they gave me a chance to live out my dream. So, I mean, I'll always have a little soft spot for Pittsburgh in my heart, and to all the fans, all the Duck fans, much love. I really appreciate the support, and I hope that y'all continue to follow me in my journey. And like I say, we'll see what happens. But a big thank you to Pittsburgh, the city, the fans, and just everybody. I'll never forget my 2 years in Pittsburgh.
Super random, bro, but we had the same barber. His name was Ethan. Good dude. He always kept it fresh. Kept us fresh.
Shout out to Ethan.
I'm going to send this over to Ethan, bro. I am, 100%.
Yeah,
same barber. Good dude. Hey, Duck, man, I can't thank you enough. Best of luck down there in Arkansas. Stay warm. Safe travels over to L.A., man. We can't wait to see those Boston, California T-shirts out and about. All over the country, man. Hey, let's do it again someday, dude, and we can't thank you enough for your time.
Absolutely. Appreciate y'all having me.
Man, I tell you what, as always, it is a damn good time on the Yinzer Crazy podcast. If this was your first time listening to us, or you've been along for the whole ride, I cannot thank you enough. Actually, you know what? Quack you very much, because Duck Hodges gave us a lot of great content there that I'm sure you'll be thinking about for the next week. I'm going to bring in the other half of Yinzer Crazy, of course, co-founder Jordan York, Pittsburgh rapper, pop culture icon, and extraordinaire. And dude, we just got to pick the brain of a guy that you and I were rooting for drunk at Heinz Field multiple occasions just 2 years ago. How cool is that?
Yeah, I remember that everyone had their duck calls. I actually, right before that start in the South Side, me and your cousin actually got to, eat a sandwich and a burger with him and Zach Banner. So that was pretty cool. Just a very, great guy. And there was just so much excitement in that season. And he's an easy guy to root for, and he's, that's my type of person. I'm an underdog, and so I can relate to that. So, it's just awesome to kind of get his perspective on, how his life was turned upside down and his love for Pittsburgh and the Steelers.
Thanks for tuning into the Yinzer Crazy podcast. Of course, we're supported by Steel City Wheelhouse and sponsored over here as well by our website, yinzercrazy.com. Make sure everybody checks that out. We're going to have full recap of this podcast with Duck Hodges on there. And, of course, any major podcast streaming provider, make sure you go ahead and share that with a friend. JY, I thought he said some really interesting shit, man. Like, first and foremost, the guy doesn't lack for confidence. That jumped off the page to me. We had both met him before, but we never really got to have a deep down conversation with him. When I kind of set him up there for, most quarterbacks I think would be like, James Washington did all the work on that play. I got lucky. Duck was like, I threw that damn ball. Like, I deserve the credit. You have to have that confidence when you're an underdog, right? You have it.
Yeah, you kind of just have to roll with the punches, and I think that goes with anything in sports. Your confidence is the most important thing, and I think being a quarterback, especially confidence, is key. And, that 80-yard pass was just great. And it's just funny that he said, someone had to throw the ball, like you said, and it happened to be Duck, and that was just a great Steelers memory that I'll never forget.
Sure. Dude, I also think it's wild that he touched on, of course, Ben Roethlisberger, who is coming back to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers officially. Woo! I can scream in the apartment. Yeah. I'm hella excited, of course. And he mentioned that they're pretty much boys, He said they text all the time about hunting. They had a lot in common. And then when I brought up Mason Rudolph, and I'm not trying to stir the pot or stir controversy, these were his words, he basically said we don't have a relationship. But I get it, right? It's a competitive mindset.
Yeah. They're competing for the number 2 quarterback spot, and obviously, Mason, that season really wasn't playing up to par, and Duck kind of came in, and I think Duck just came with that confidence and that swagger, and, he was a better guy to really, get the team hype around, and the chemistry for the team. I just feel that it's exciting when you have, someone like him coming from a Division II school, and unrestricted, undrafted free agent. So it's again, an easy guy to root for, and that gets the guys fired up.
Classic underdog, but the top dog today on the Yinzer Crazy Show. That's for damn sure. And listen, man, I'm not going to read too much into anything, but he obviously really liked his time in Pittsburgh. He liked being a Yinzer. He liked seeing the duck faces and the duck calls throughout the city. He didn't rule out a return at some point, did he?
No, I mean, obviously he's an LA Ram now, but I mean, the NFL is a crazy place, and you never know. And obviously he still has connections in Pittsburgh, and you know, there's always a need for, you know, a solid, you know, quarterback, especially if, you know, Ben would get hurt or something. You know, Mason isn't producing, so, you know, maybe he's only one quack away.
One quack away. I love it, man. Unfortunately, he's about as furthest away as he could possibly be in this country, outside of Hawaii or Alaska, if you will, but they don't have NFL teams yet. But you never know, like we said. We, of course, wish him the best with the LA Rams, but maybe we'll be hoping for a Steelers reunion at some point. You're locked into the Yinzer Crazy podcast. Man, we had a lot of cool stuff going on again this past week. If you haven't checked out our shows that we're streaming live on Twitter from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, what the heck are you doing? This past Thursday, we had Trey Essex, former Steelers offensive tackle, winner of 2 Super Bowl rings. He came on the show for about 20 minutes and pretty much broke down everything. He talked Big Ben. He talked about Jerome Bettis, Rod Woodson. He talked about why he did not like what Juju Smith-Schuster said leading up to the Browns game. The dude kept it honest. He kept it real, and it was just a really cool listen. You can find that link, of course, on EliteSportsBetting.com. We're partnered with them. Or just go back on our Twitter timeline and click play at any time. That's a lot of fun. We also want to, of course, tell you that on the website, YinzerCrazy.com, consistently are coming out with unique, creative, original content. We're not over here.
Real journalism.
We're not over here just, you know, taking an ESPN story that was written by Jeremy Fowler or Brooke Pryor, 2 good friends of the show, of course, and repurposing it and recycling it. We got our own shit on Yinzer Crazy Show, all right? And it's something that means a lot to us, of course, because we put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears at this thing, and we're starting to reap the benefits by talking to guys like Duck Hodges and Trey Hodges and current Steelers, all the people that we're going to have coming up on this show as well. Man, we got some great podcast guests in the works still. We have some great Yinzer hours in the works still coming up on your Twitter timeline, as I mentioned, each Thursday. And the last thing before we sign off, JY, I think we're getting a little closer to maybe a hit song.
Yeah, I've been working hard in the studio. I really haven't, you know, working in silence, but there might be a little Yinzer Crazy song. My producer, Gallo, who's a very talented person, he actually works with the NBA and numerous other sporting brands and leagues. And, yeah, man, I mean, it's a good song, and it kind of just explains that, hey, the future of Pittsburgh sports is here. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into this as the athletes and the teams and the coaches do on the field, and we're just bringing you real journalism. I can't stress that enough, because in today's, you know, social media realm, you get lost and, you know, people do clickbait and just, you know, we're real. You know, you went to IUP, you majored in journalism. I've been in the entertainment business for over 11 years now, and you know, we know what to do, and you're going to get with YinzerCrazy.com, you're going to get the best, and this song just kind of showcases everything that we do over here. Quack, quack, duck, duck. We got the best guests. We're doing it all, baby. Yinzer Crazy. Get with us or get lost, or
that's it.
I don't know what to do, but
that's it.
Just keep quacking.
Miscellaneous grinding. That's what I call it, with a small shout out to IUP mixed in there. Hey, man, shout out Duck Hodges. Oh, what a great guest. What a good dude. We'll have, obviously, his connection everlasting. So when or if he does make a return to the Berg, we'll catch up with him once more. All right, guys, for all of our partners, Steel City Wheelhouse, EliteSportsBetting.com, everybody out there who has, of course, supported us, we just want to say thank you, as always. Once again, thanks to Duck Hodges. Check out the Trey Essex episode on our Twitter timeline from this past week. I am Mike Nicastro. For JY, I'll let him say it. As always, Yins.
Stay crazy.
It ain't JY's flow without tight rhymes. It ain't a Pittsburgher without the fries from the nation's heartland like mom's apple pies. It's pure Americana. Hides on your fries. Got more bridges and
Venice, my city is still. If you dig my lingo, you'll know that I feel like ain't no city so gritty, so filled with appeal. I'm off to Permanis, piled high my next meal. Never mind New Hampshire, got my own Washington Mount. Got 3 joining rivers, but who's keeping count? Got the world's first Ferris, got the world's famous salt. Take me out to the ball game, no hesitation, no ball. Got Denny and Keaton, Warholm and Rodgers, Fred film night at 11.